ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धेर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्त वेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यत् इति मे निश्चिता मतिः। We have been seeing the objections which have been raised about the oneness of Jiva and Brahman in different ways. First, it was said that Sakshi does not exist. Sakshi who is different from Jiva. And then manyness of Sakshi is there. And because of manyness of Sakshi, because Sakshi being many, their oneness with one Brahman is impossible. For which, with examples, the explanation was given. As we had seen earlier, the author in explanation differentiated the thing which separates out. In our inquiry, we are trying to separate out ourselves from everything else. And during that separation, is it that I, which we constantly experience, that Chaitanya, is it along with upadhi, conditioning, or along with something adjective or that quality? English word would be quality or visheshana. And quality qualified union is different from condition and condition. The definitions we had seen: karya anvayitve and karya ananvayitve. That which is continuously present in effect and that which is absent in its effect. There we had seen example: Kundali agataha, man with earring has come, or blue colored pot. In the recap, I added blue colored lotus because that is much more familiar. When we are seeing pot, we at the same time are seeing blue color also. And in absence of blue color, that blue colored lotus cannot be seen. Or in absence of lotus, blue color cannot be seen. So in blue lotus per se, in lotus there is continued existence of blue color. So there is anvaya of blue color. But at the same time, in crystal, which is colorless, which is transparent, there is no continual existence of blue color. Crystal exists in absence of that blue color also. That's why for crystal, the blue color is conditioning and crystal becomes conditioned. In case of flower, it is qualified, quality and qualified. Same is the case with Jiva and Sakshi. For Sakshi, Antahkarana becomes conditioning. Why? Because in absence of Antahkarana also, Sakshi exists. And in case of Jiva, you can never separate Antahkarana from Chaitanya. In absence of one of those two, Jiva ceases to be. When if Antahkarana is removed, Jiva will not be there. And even if we take away Chaitanya, Jiva will not be there. So that is quality and qualified. But if we really do see, in reality, what we are pointing out to that Chaitanya and not Antahkarana. Are we not? See, let me give you an example. Uh, when there is a dead body, do we say that of course, let's say a body is lying, it's not moving at all. Forget that dead word which I added, because that is going to destroy the fun. That's going to take away the. Now, because that body is not moving, not responding, as far as we can understand, that body is not able to perceive anything. Then what do we say? That person is dead, he is had ceased to be. He is no more alive. What are we referring to there? That he is no more Chetana. Why is he not Chaitanya? Because the support where that Chaitanya could have reflected, that Antahkarana has moved. So in reality, what we are referring to, whenever we are seeing a live person, we are referring to its Chaitanya. Even though we are taking support of Antahkarana, we are referring to Chaitanya. And in the same way, during meditation, etc., for a Vedanti, when we are referring to that Chaitanya in absence of Antahkarana, we are referring to Sakshi. Now, let's move further with this. So, here we had seen Tatha Antahkaranamapi, the third line, Kartrutva Bhoktrutva Vishishta Jiva Chaitanyasya Visheshanam. Antahkarana is Visheshan of Jiva Chaitanya. Chaitanya named as Jiva. स्वावच्छिन्न चैतन्ये कर्तृत्व भोक्तृत्व व्यवहारास्पदत्वस्य बोधनात्. Swavachinna, avachinna, qualified or conditioned, that Chaitanya which has been separated out. In that Chaitanya, Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva, Vyavahara, Aspadatvasya, that Chaitanya is referred to as seat, the substratum for Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva, Vyavahara. And how is it this seat support? In form of Antahkarana Vrittis. Therefore, Tasmat, Samsarinaha Jivasya Antahkaranam Visheshanam. Antahkarana is Visheshana of Samsari Jiva. Tathacha Antahkaranam Tat Avachinna Chaitanyancha Ekikritya Samsariti Vyapadeshaha Ayancha Uttaratra Spashti Kriyate. This will be explained in detail later. So Tat Avachinna Chaitanyam Antahkaranam Ekikritya. When Antahkarana and Chaitanya are understood to be one together, then alone he is samsari. Now, author comes to Aikyopapatti, Upapatti, proving with reason. What? Aikya, oneness. Aikyasya Upapatti, proof that oneness is appropriate. Oneness does exist. Author starts. रागद्वेषादयः क्लेशाः संसारिण्येव वर्तन्ते न तु साक्षिणि. Simple. Ragadveshadaya kleshaha. All these kleshas, raga, dvesha, etc. In whom do they exist? They exist in samsarini, in samsari, or in jiva alone. All these are seen. Natu sakshini, not in that who is the witness consciousness. What's the proof? Simple. Are you sorrowful? Are you angry in your deep sleep? No. If you are not angry in deep sleep, if you are not sorrowful, if you are not all those with all those kleshas in deep sleep, that means those were not existing in deep sleep. In deep sleep, all those kleshas were absent. Now, who was present in deep sleep and what was absent in deep sleep? Let's understand. Did you experience deep sleep? No. Then how did you know you slept well? That means you experience your deep sleep, but you are not available to express. Yes, that I can accept. So it is accepted that I was there in deep sleep, yet I did not experience. Now, this is in just lay terms. I'm not going into detail. Is there what are we experiencing and what we are not experiencing, etc. I'm not going to go into those details. Yet, if I did not experience raga and dvesha, that means for raga dvesha to exist, that which is required was not there. And what was not there in deep sleep? Antahkarana. So, and with whom antahkarana is there? Jiva. So they do not belong to Sakshi, who is continuously present all throughout all three states of experiences. Anvaya, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Shusputatara, Yasam Vidujrumbhate. So that which has Anvaya, continual presence throughout Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. That is Sakshi. And the one who experiences and considers Raga Dvesha to be his is Jiva Samsari. That's what author is explaining further. Tatrapi, in that also, in the Jiva also, Samsarinaha Visheshani Bhutanta Karanameva Ashritaha te. All those Raga Dveshas, etc., they are not in Jiva by itself. They are there in the antahkarana of that jiva. Which antahkarana? The antahkarana which has become visheshana, the quality of chaitanya. So raga dvesha belong to antahkarana, not even jiva. See, what a revelation. So even at jiva, we are free from happiness and sorrow. Yet na vishesha bhuta chaitanyam. They do not belong to whom? That chaitanya which is along with. Samsarinaha vishesha bhuta chaitanyam eva sakshiti vyavahriyate. And in that jiva, that vishesha bhuta chaitanya, that chaitanya which is present, is called as sakshi. Ekameva chaitanyam antahkarana vishishtaschet samsari ityuchyate tadvirahitam chet sakshi iti cha. And that one chaitanya alone, when it is antahkarana vishishta, qualified by antahkarana, it is called as samsari, and in absence of that antahkarana, it is called as sakshi. Therefore, sakshi swarupasya samsarinaha visheshya swarupasya cha shabda bhedam vina nakopyarthato bhedaha. In sakshi swarupasya of that which is sakshi swarupa, samsarinaha visheshya swarupasya cha, and that which is the visheshya of samsari. What is the swarupa of sakshi or sakshi swarupa? Chaitanya. Chaitanya is the swarupa of sakshi. Actually, sakshi himself is chaitanya. But for sake of language and understanding explanation, sakshi swarupasya has been said. Samsarinaha visheshya swarupasya. that which is the Visheshya part of Samsari. That is Chaitanya. In those two, Shabda Bhedam Vina Nakopyarthato Bhedaha. In between those two, other than having different names, there is no difference at all. Call that bulb or call that light, it doesn't matter. Switch on light or switch on bulb. What you are going to get is light alone. Bulb is just the conditioned light, light is light. यदि विशेष्य स्वरूपेपि क्लेशाः अंगीक्रियेरन् तर्हि साक्षिणः अपि ते अंगीकृताः स्युः. And if we consider those kleshas belonging to Visheshya Swarupa, to that Visheshya also, that qualified part also, or of to Chaitanya also, Sakshina apite angikrutaha syu, then they will be taken up by Sakshi also, angikrutaha, owned up. They will be owned up by Sakshi. And that's not possible. Nacha etadishtam. Why is it not appropriate? Simple. That which is seen and that which is experienced cannot be part of experiencer or experiencing. We have analyzed this earlier. That thing alone can be observed, seen, and experienced, which is slightly further away from its substratum, Indriya. What can be seen by our eyes? That which is slightly far away. Eyes cannot see themselves. In the same way, if ragadveshas are experienced or are being witnessed, let me change the word experience. If they are being witnessed, then they can never belong to the one who is witnessing them. Therefore, they can never belong to Chaitanya. What is the conclusion of this whole analysis? I am a pathetic fellow who thinks he is sorrowful, happy, angry, etc. In reality, I am not these things at all. I am that Brahman, that Sakshi, who is free from all these. For which now Upanishadic quotations from Shastra are being given. Why that? Considering that kleshas belong to Sakshi is inappropriate. Sakshi cheta kevalo nirgunasya. How is that Chaitanya? Sakshi, cheta, kevala, nirguna. Cheta, Chaitanya Swarupa. Sakshi, witness consciousness. Kevala, that and that alone. Where there is nothing else other than that. Nirguna. Nirguna without any gunas. And for ragadveshas to exist, it requires gunas and it requires something else. So they can never belong to Sakshi. Nalipyate loka dukkhen bahyaha. It is not affected by outward sorrows or sorrows which are outwards. It is not affected by sorrows at all. Asango yayam purushaha. This purusha is a sangha, without any sangha. Na sadhuna karmana bhuyan, no eva sadhuna kaniyan. Saha, that Chaitanya, that Sakshi, na sadhuna karmana, by doing punya karma, by doing good deeds, bhuyan, it grows, it expands, it increases. Na eva asadhuna kaniyan. Na eva, and so also asadhana, by doing wrong deeds, kaniyan, it gets reduced, it goes down, it gets destroyed, it decays, it never happens. Navardhate karmanano kaniyan, same has been said, because by performing karma, it neither grows nor decays. इत्यादि श्रुतिभ्यः साक्षिणः न क्लेशगंधोप्यस्ति इति वेदांत सिद्धांत. There is not even iota of klesha. Gandha matramapi. Let me give you example so you will understand this expression. Let's take an example of, say, sanitizer bottle, or the bottle in which soap had been kept. Once that bottle has been emptied, how much ever you may wash that bottle from inside will still smell of that soap. So now there is no soap at all inside that bottle, but yet that smell has got stuck inside. That is like lep of gandha, smell being stuck. So even though those two, the smell, the soap to which that smell belongs, is no more in contact with that bottle, the smell is still there. Similarly, in such a way, klesha gandhopyasti na. You may say, because it was in contact, the kleshas, then let them belong to antahkarana. Let them be with antahkarana. But it has its effect on the chaitanya. It's not possible. That will not affect chaitanya at all. It never affects. This is Vedanta Siddhanta, and because of this Siddhanta, because of this doctrine, it is impossible for kleshas to be present in Sakshi. Ataha संसारिणः विशेष्य स्वरूपे न क्लेशः सन्ति किंतु विशेषणी भूतांतःकरण मात्रे. Therefore, kleshas are in antahkarana and not in sakshi. So, samsari, two parts, antahkarana, sakshi. Kleshas are in antahkarana, not in sakshi. काम संकल्पो विचिकित्सा श्रद्धा श्रद्धा धृतिरधृतिभिर इत्येतत् धृतिरधृतिभिरित्येत सर्वं मन एव. This is from Brihadaranyaka. Kamaha, kama, sankalpa, thinking, deliberation, vichikitsa, analysis, shraddha, faith, belief, ashraddha, not believing, dhritihi, the steadfastness, adhritihi, the chanchalatva of mind, unsteadiness of mind, bhihi, the fear, all these are nothing but mind and mind alone. So all these are different expressions of mind. This everything is mana eva, mind alone. Kama yesya hridishritaha, all the desires which have entered into that person's hridi, hridaya, antahkarana, all the desires have entered into its antahkarana. It has been said as antahkarana, not chaitanya, not sakshi. Akamam rupam shokantaram. Akamam rupam shokantaram. That rupa which is akama is different. Tirno hitada sarvan chokan hridayasya bhavati. When he gains that atmanyana, etc., tada hridayasya sarvan chokan. Hridayasya, those which belong to hridaya antahkarana, sarvan chokan. Sarvan shokan, sarvan chokan. All the sorrows which belong to that antahkarana, he crosses over them. Tirnaha bhavati. He becomes the one who has crossed over all the sorrows of antahkarana. Ityadi shrutibhya. Because of all these shrutis, we understand that all the kleshas belong to antahkarana and not that chaitanya, for which now Atmabodha shloka has been given. Rage cha sukha dukkhadi buddhau satyam pravartate. सुषुप्तौ नास्ति तन्नाशे तस्माद् बुद्धेस्मात्मनः इति वृद्धवचनात् रागादयो बुद्धिधर्मा एव न तु जीवात्मधर्माः इत्युक्तम्. What the verse says is रागेच्छा सुख दुःखादि, रागेच्छा सुख दुःखादि बुद्धौ सत्यां प्रवर्तते. सत्यां in presence of, buddhau buddhi in presence of, buddhi intellect, intellect as upalakshana for all others, so antahkarana. Pravartate, they act, they work, they show their effects. Sushuptau nasti, they are not present in sushupti. Why? Tannashe, because they get destroyed. Here nasha is going to laya, in the state of dissolution, not atyantika nasha, complete destruction. Tasmad buddhestu natmanaha. Therefore, they belong to buddhi and not atma. Understand this in form of sentences like this. Raga, dvesha, etc., anger, desires, etc., they are seen to be existing when intellect is existing or antahkarana is present, and they are seen to work, express themselves. So raga, dvesha, etc., they do express only when antahkarana is available for expression. In sushupti, in absence of antahkarana, they get destroyed, they go into dissolution. Therefore, raga, dvesha belong to antahkarana and not atma. This is called anvaya yatireka. It is defined as tat sattve tat sattvam tad abhave tad abhava. Tat sattve, when that thing is existing, other thing expresses. In absence of that thing, when other gets destroyed, that is anvaya yatireka. Simple. Throughout, there are different ornaments of gold. In all those ornaments, gold is continuously present. Gold is there everywhere. So there is anvaya of gold in all ornaments. But earrings are not there in bangles. Both bangles are not there in chain. Chain is not there in other different ornament. Say ring. So all those ring, bangles, etc. are not present in other ornaments. So there is yatireka. Yatireka of those ornaments in other ornaments, but there is anvaya throughout all those of gold. Similarly, raga dvesha, which were there in jagrat and swapna, they are destroyed, they go into dissolution in sushupti, but the chaitanya is present throughout all the three. Therefore, they do not, even in though chaitanya is there, if they had belonged to chaitanya, they would have been present in sushupti. Why? Because chaitanya is there. Iti vruddhavachana, therefore, because of this vruddhavachana refers to गुरुजियों की कही बात, that which has been told to us by elders. Ragadaya, raga, dvesha, etc. Buddhi dharmaha, they belong to antahkarana. Na tu jivatma dharmaha ityuktam. They do not belong to jivatma, etc. So they are not part of jiva, but they are part of antahkarana. And when I say here jiva, I am referring to that jiva chaitanya, chaitanya part of jiva. तथा च अंतःकरण विशिष्टस्य जीवस्य ब्रह्मणा सह ऐक्य असंभवेपि therefore अंतःकरण विशिष्टस्य जीवस्य ब्रह्मणा सह ऐक्यासंभवेपि अंतःकरण उपहित साक्षिणः तत्संभवत्येव. Even though the oneness of Brahman with that jiva which is along with antahkarana as its quality and not conditioning. Oneness is impossible. I accept. Oneness is not possible between ring and the gold. The oneness is possible in the gold in that ring and gold. The goldsmith always purchases an ornament, purchases back an ornament based on its contents and not its shape. Therefore, there is oneness between the gold in that ornament and gold. So, oneness may be impossible in Jiva and Brahman, but antahkarana upahita sakshinaha tat sambhavatyeva. That sakshi along with antahkarana as his upadhi conditioning, Brahman has its oneness. So you can never say Jiva along with its upadhi is one with Brahman. Jiva in absence of all its qualities. Now this is where the problem with language comes and our understanding and expression. If I say Jiva without its upadhi, what actually we are referring to is its quality. So there we have to understand Jiva in absence of quality is Chaitanya. And they in reality can never be separated. But if you look at Chaitanya part of Jiva, that surely is one with Brahman. But if you say Jiva, again, this topic will come later. Should we understand Jiva? Whenever we say Jiva, should we understand in direct sense or implied sense? When we say Jiva, what is to be understood? The Chaitanya part or Chaitanya and Antahkarana together? If you say Chaitanya and Antahkarana together, sorry. They both together can never be one with Brahman. But if you imply Chaitanya part, then oneness is possible. But in case of Sakshi, nothing is required. Sakshi is in absence of Upadhi all the time. Why? Because it has never become one with that Sakshi Chaitanya. So with Sakshi, oneness of Brahman Sambhavatyeva is possible. Is there. Now, I understand, I know you already had anticipated this whole analysis. So you already forced your idea upon me. What was that idea? Sakshi are also many in number. But Let me answer that also. Sakshinah nanatvepi ekena brahmanaikyam sambhavati. Let's consider that there are many sakshi as you have said. Yet, for all those sakshi, oneness with Brahman is possible. Oneness not possible. Oneness with Brahman is there. Yaduktam, what you said. Sakshinah anekatvat ekatvacha brahmanah. Because sakshi are many in number. Why? Because each antahkarana will have different witness. Why? Because with reference to antahkarana, we are referring to that Chaitanya. So, there will be many sakshi. Ekatvacha brahmana, Brahman being one. Aneka sakshinam ekena brahmanaikyam na yujyate. There can never be oneness between many sakshis and one Brahma. How can many be equated to one? It is not possible. यदि युज्यते तर्हि ब्रह्मणः इव साक्षिणः अपि सर्वशरीरवर्तित्व व्यापकत्व एकत्व सिद्ध्या युगपत् सर्वशरीरेषु सुख दुःख साक्षात्कार प्रसंगः इति तन्न. And if that oneness is there, then as we had seen in case of Sakshi, if there is oneness, then in reality all those Sakshis will have one common denominator. For all those to be one with Brahman, and for Brahman also, like Brahman, which is Sarva Sharira Vartitva Vyapakatva Ekatva Siddhya. That Sakshi, he will become Sarva Sharira Vartitva, being present in all embodiments at the same time. Vyapaka, all pervasive. Ekatva, being one throughout. Being such, Yugapat Sarva Sharireshu Sukha Dukkha Sakshatkara Prasanga. At the same time, everybody will be happy or everybody will be sorrowful. It will be impossible for one person to be happy and one person to be sorrowful. Either everyone will be happy or either everyone will be sorrowful. This is not the case. Tan na. Yadi sakshi yataha. Why? Sakshi dvividha. Sakshi is of two types. Ishvara-Sakshi, Jiva-Sakshi cha iti. One is Ishvara-Sakshi and one is Jiva-Sakshi. Tatra Adyaha Ekaha eva. Right now I'm not going to define what is Ishvara-Sakshi and Jiva-Sakshi. Let author explain that. In those two, the earlier one is one alone. That who is Ishvara-Sakshi is one. Vitiyo anekaha parichinnasya tathapi vyapaka brahmano na bhinnaha. The second one, Jiva Sakshi, anekaha, it is many in number. Parichinnaha cha, it is parichinna, limited. Tathapi, yet vyapaka brahmanaha, from that vyapaka brahma, from that all pervasive Brahman, na bhinnaha, it is not different at all. Yatha, just as ghatakashaha nana parichinnopi महाकाशादनन्यतया महाकाशस्वरूपः एव भवति. Just as Vichaara-Saagara, the pot space, nanakasha parichinnopi, even though it is limited by different pots. So there are many pot spaces. There are many pot space. Actually, it is correct me if I am wrong later when we have question answer session. Do we have plural for space? No, space is space. So that explains that space is one. Same way, many pot space may be there, but with reference to space, they are one with that total space. Let's take this example in terms of set theory. There is universal set, and in that there are many subsets. All the subsets belong to universal set only. They are never different from, you can never have one subset different from universal set. Now, in the group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, say these 10 numbers, 2 can never be independently existing different from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Simple. तथा in the same way, Jiva Sakshi Nana Parichinnoppi Tattvataha Brahma Bhinnataya Brahmayo Bhavati. In the same way, Jiva Sakshi, that Jiva Sakshi, Nana, though are different many in number, Parichinnaha, limited, Tattvataha, in reality, Brahma Bhinnataya, being not different from Brahman, is Brahman, Brahmayo Bhavati, becomes Brahman alone. So, what is this? I think author is going to explain that much later. Ishvara Sakshi and Jiva Sakshi. Let me give you very concise explanation here. Ishvarasya Sakshi, Ishvara Sakshi, Jivanam Sakshi, Jiva Sakshi. Jivasya Sakshi, Jiva Sakshi. So Sakshi with reference to Ishvara is Ishvara Sakshi. Who is Ishvara? Ishvara is summation of all Jivas. Ishvara is summation of all Jiva. And Jiva is are individual components of that Ishvara. So with reference to Jiva, the Chaitanya which is indicated as conditioning and conditioned, that Chaitanya will be Jiva Sakshi. With reference to Ishvara, that the Chaitanya which has been indicated as conditioning and conditioned will be Ishvara Sakshi. Let's go to the example which we had seen last time. Pot space, total space, pot water, and water which is present in cloud. So the cloud water and space reflecting in that cloud water. So the space which is reflecting in that cloud water, that space is Ishvara Sakshi. But space which is reflecting in the water which has been filled in individual pots, that becomes Jiva Sakshi. Whether it's space reflecting in total water or space reflecting in individual waters, space is space alone. It is never different anywhere. We will stop here. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.